All frucked up. I haven't posted on this channel in, a month. So 4 weeks is too long to go without putting out some content. So this video has a few objectives. Number one, get some channel content going again, get an upload happening. Number two is to share the thoughts that I've been preoccupied with over the last 4 weeks. And to some extent, talk about where I've been, what's been happening with my health, etc. So to open up, I would say this from my own experience, and of course this could be totally subjective. At no point am I saying that this is like the capital T truth and this is just the way things work. But the low-fat diet for me has been a fantastic way to stay absolutely totally parked and just locked in at a current weight of like 262 pounds. That'll fluctuate up and down a couple of pounds. And yeah, that's just been my reality. And in spite of the fact that I keep telling myself that this low-fat diet will produce weight loss and playing with the quantities, because some people say, I'm not eating enough. So it's like, well, I'll ramp up the quantity. But then the scale weight ramps up too, and it's like, well, maybe I'll vet that out for a week, and then the scale keeps climbing, and it's like, well, getting closer to 270, maybe I better dial this quantity back. And when I just eat to satiety on a low-fat diet, then my weight just stays in the 260s, which is not my optimal weight. It's not my target weight, but it seems to be, at least with my implementation of the low-fat diet, I'm just parked. Which, there's value there. There's value there. There's something to be said for a diet where you're locked in and your weight does not really change very much at all. So yeah, if that were my goal, I'd be extremely happy. But my goal has been to cut body fat. So, I've ramped up the free weights. I'm doing even more with the free weights now. The weighted vest, the 30-pound vest, I've been doing typically 2 miles in the cemetery, sometimes 3. I've been doing that several times a week. So one could make the argument that the fat mass has come down as the muscle mass has increased. Whatever, I'm not trying to get caught up in the minutia. What I want are the dramatic results that I had when I got into intermittent fasting all those years ago, 2017. And I know that some of the sugar diet channels, the low-fat, high-carbohydrate channels, have really not recommended intermittent fasting, certainly not recommending prolonged fasting, but that's when I felt my best. And to not discuss that would be not being honest. I felt my best when I was fasting. Can I look back and say, oh, well, maybe I messed up my microbiome. Maybe I affected, the gut flora, right? Maybe I affected that balance. I don't know. I mean, I felt amazing at the time. I've never been able to replicate that fat loss in any other way, using any other modality, and I feel like I've been very open-minded. I've been like, well, if if we bring about what we think about, then anything's possible, right? There's multiple roads to the mountaintop. There's multiple ways to achieve the same result. And I just haven't been able to bring about those results. It's like, well, I can stay in the 260s between, 260 and 265 pounds. I can apparently stay in that weight range in perpetuity, till the end of days. I can stay in the low 260s, but that's not my goal. So, am I really leaning towards a low carb diet? No. I kind of hate that idea because I've really felt good on a high carbohydrate diet. And, there's the mechanic side of me where, a low carb diet makes sense because it's like, well, if you deplete the hepatic glycogen, the liver glycogen, well, then your body's going to go and, produce new sugar, gluconeogenesis, making new sugar. And so I understand why the low carb diet works. And, with a mechanistic model, because I'm kind of a gearhead, it's like, well, I lean hard in that direction because I can explain, and I'm not trying to evangelize a low carb diet at all. But in my mind, I could follow the bullet points. I could follow the steps. Well, if I do this, then this happens. Then this happens. Then weight loss ensues, weight loss is the result. So like all of it made sense, where if I'm doing juice fasting, it's like, okay, but my liver glycogen's full. And if my glycogen's full, then I'm never getting into the fat stores. And, maybe I just haven't gotten really excited about juice fasting and stuck with it long enough. But I don't know. There's so many things about this that are very frustrating. It's like, yeah, protein sparing modified diet works. Sure it does. And, you're not spiking your insulin. You're not filling up your liver glycogen. It's just, protein. A low carb diet works because, again, you're not spiking your insulin. You're not filling up your liver glycogen. So, you drop into ketosis, you end up, some would say in an optimal state, some would say in a non-optimal state, but the result is, fat loss. And that's really what I'm looking for at this point. It's like, okay, we can talk about what achieves a lot of results for a lot of different people. We can talk about, what Durian Ryder does. We can talk about what, Zach on Sugar is Life does. Much as I've tried to embrace that, it just hasn't worked for me. So I'm left going, well, I don't want to weigh 260 for the rest of my life. And I've been much leaner, and I know how to do that. But sadly, in spite of being open with my mindset, like, okay, there's other things I can do that will achieve results, I seem to be a one-trick pony. I don't eat. Fasting forced ketosis. I don't eat, I lose weight. I lose fat. Yeah. So, as far as the low-fat diet, formerly known as the sugar diet, yeah, it's great maintenance. I feel strong. Muscle glycogen's always on tap. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits. But at least with my implementation of it, I've never been able to get it just right. So my weight's parked and my body mass doesn't shift a whole bunch. Yeah, and that's very frustrating over a long time horizon. So I think for me going forward that I need to lean more towards a protein sparing modified diet, embrace some of the fasting that produced such good results for me in the past. God knows my healthcare provider is telling me like, yeah, you should do this. You should totally try it. And it's like, where was that support back in 2017 when I was told that I would crash my metabolism and go into starvation mode? Admittedly, it was a different doctor, but yeah. Any case, I'm leaning towards not necessarily the low carb, but definitely the fasting. And it's not for lack of trying. So, yeah, if you wanted to know why I was gone for 4 weeks, it was like, well, I was sick, I was discouraged, and yeah, like I didn't know what I was going to contribute anyway. But the intent was to get some videos recorded and uploaded, and then it'd get dark outside, and it's like, well, I don't want to record a video back in the basement. So I was like, it'll get pushed to another day. And then it didn't get done. So here I am ranting, or not ranting, maybe just rambling. That's the word I was looking for. Any case, hope you had a good Friday, and I'll try to be more consistent with the content, although you might have to put up with the shitty backdrop of old floor joists and old galvanized pipe. Anyway, see ya.